We do have more players opting out of Orlando. The latest is the Nets' Wilson Chandler, who says he wants to spend more time with his family, particularly his grandmother, who raised him. Now, Chandler is the fourth Net to opt out. He joins Kyrie, KD, and Nick Claxton, all of whom are rehabbing from injuries. Meanwhile, Chandler also joins a growing list of NBA players declining a return to play without specified injuries, including Trevor Ariza, Davis Bertans, Willie Cauley-Stein, Avery Bradley. One player who is still undecided, reigning sixth man of the year, Lou Williams, who said earlier this month he was, quote, 50-50 on a return to play. Williams says he's concerned resuming the season could distract from the nationwide movement for social justice. Jay, do you think Lou will end up playing? And if he doesn't, what would potentially losing him do to the Clippers' chances at a title? Because they are one of the title favorites.
You know, Rachel, I'm always going to be real with you. I have no idea. This is such a conflicting moment in our history for a lot of individuals that don't want to take away from, you know, what things we're actually fighting for as it relates to social injustice. And that's ultimately going to have to be a subjective decision by Lou Will. I will tell you that if Lou Will does not play, I think that's a major blow. And I know that the Clippers are a loaded team. I know you got Reggie Jackson, you have other pieces that are viable and that can score the ball. But, you know, look, you're talking about the NBA's all-time leader scorer in points off the bench. You're talking about a guy that had a career high this year in 5.7 assists per game. And him handling the rock, him making plays for other people, knowing that he was a living bucket down the stretch. If he chooses not to come back and play, are the Clippers still a really good team? They're still a team that can win the title? Yes, I just think it makes it a lot more arduous for that squad without Lou Will.
Well, listen, Jay, Rachel, the Clippers cannot win the championship without Lou Will. I'm sorry. Their chances go down the drain. They cannot win without Lou Will. We're talking about Lou Will, the sixth-man guard after Jamal Crawford, a guy who's a walking bucket, arguably the best scorer on that Clippers team. And it raises a major concern for me because a guy that's 50-50, even if he goes down to the bubble and play, is his heart in the right place? And that's a major concern because when you're trying to win a title, you need everyone in 100%. And I'm not questioning Lou Will and his love for the game, but I'm questioning the moment. Right now, even if he goes down to Orlando, is his heart there? Because his heart right now is for a bigger cause, which I applaud him on. But this raises a red flag for the Clippers. Either if he goes or if he stays. To me, it raises a red flag, and they cannot win a championship.
If he decides to go, don't you think that he will be 100% in? Once he makes the decision, don't you think his focus will be with the team?
Well, I'm not saying that, Rachel, but what I'm saying is if his heart is somewhere else, he could still go out there and play. But if his heart is with the Black Lives Movement, and I applaud him with it, it's a difference. Like, he could still be on the court, but he could not have that sense of urgency like he would have if he wasn't thinking about this situation.
Perk, I would have to say, knowing Lou Will for his career, if Lou Will chose to go down to Orlando, he'll give it his all. And I still think that there's a way, even though you can think it's a distraction, there's a way you can turn that into a motivation too, considering you're going to have the biggest platform in the world to continue to push your message. So I think Lou Will has proven that he's professional enough to handle that responsibility. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Also, you get that playoff money. You could donate it wherever you want. Scratch. That's some good coin right there.
I'm not questioning it, though. I'm not questioning if he'll be 100% in. I'm talking about, like, if he's 50-50, that means his mind is somewhere else. I'm not saying that Lou Wills is not going to give it his all. All I'm saying is that it's hard when your mind is, like, his focus right now is on the Black Lives Movement and Black Lives Matters movement, and that's important. I'm not knocking him for that, but I'm just saying to be 100% in, and he's saying that he's 50-50 right now, that's a concern to me. I'm sorry.
I get it. I'm looking forward to hearing from Lou Will in these coming days. I also want to get to Jazz All-Star center Rudy Gobert. He told French newspaper L'Equipe that details of his battle with COVID-19, including feeling, quote, ants in my toes. Seriously, guys, it makes me uncomfortable just to read that sentence, as well as slight lung inflammation. He also explains how he is still recovering from the virus, saying, quote, the taste has returned, but the smell is still not 100%. He said, I can smell smells, but not from afar. I spoke to specialists who told me that it could take up to a year to return to normal. So, Perk, seeing those comments from a star player who was diagnosed with the virus more than 3 months ago, should the long-term effects of COVID-19 be considered a bigger deal as the NBA approaches this restart? And a number of players, remember, have tested positive, even if they will be recovered by the time they get to Orlando.
Yes, it is, Rachel. It should be a bigger deal for everyone in America. Just thinking of that, like, right, he's saying that he can't smell, he can't taste. Like, that's a huge deal that Rudy Gobert, like, he had it 3 months ago, like you said, and it should raise a red flag, you know, that this is serious and that, you know, we have to take all cautions and make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's, which I think, you know, the NBA has done a great job. Like I said before, they're going down to $1 billion bubble, Rachel. I think they'll be okay.
Hey, you know, I pray and I hope that everybody will be okay. I think that's still TBD to see how they'll have to handle everything. And, you know, I would say this, that to be, you know, on your point, Perk, it's for the world, man. And I just want to make sure that everybody at home understands that we're still collecting data on this. So when people say, well, there's no long-term effects, blah, 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 you don't know that. That's not a fact. That is your opinion. Unfortunately, we live in a world where opinions become facts. And, you know, so as this relates to Rudy or other guys, you know, you don't know what the repercussions are going to be down the line and how the league's going to need to handle this. And I will say this, you know, the league has been a major vehicle for a lot of African Americans, if we're bringing in the Black Lives Matter movement here, to become wealthy. And look what it's been able to do for Michael Jordan to own a team. So, you know, I do have to put my trust in Adam Silver here, that he has tried to collect as much data as possible. But ultimately, Rachel, you know, it's going to be up to him when enough is going to be enough, if it gets to that point where they'll need to pull the plug.